The moment a social media application opens, a distinct shift occurs in human behavior. The screen illuminates, the thumb begins to scroll, and a sudden, measurable sense of self-awareness takes hold. Deep within the brain, neurotransmitters surge across microscopic gaps. This chemical response is reacting to a specific stimulus, the awareness of an unseen observer. To understand why a piece of software can trigger this biological reaction, we have to look back to 1791. The English philosopher Jeremy Bentham proposed a new architectural invention designed to maximize control over a population using the least amount of physical force possible. He called it the Panopticon. This photograph shows the layout of Bentham's design. It relies on a central guard tower, surrounded by a ring of exposed cells. The inmates are entirely visible at all hours, but the tower windows remain dark. The prisoners can never see the guard. Because the inmates never know exactly when they are being observed, they are forced to assume they are being watched at every moment. The physical presence of a guard becomes irrelevant. Decades later, the French intellectual Michel Foucault examined this prison structure and realized its mechanics extended far beyond stone walls. Foucault identified a process of internalized authority. When a person is placed within a network of collective expectations and continuous visibility, external rules slowly become self-imposed discipline. The ultimate triumph of the Panopticon is that it eliminates the need for guards entirely. The architecture itself does the work, and the inmates become their own wardens. Bentham's structural blueprint did not vanish with the closure of 18th century prisons. It was digitized, stripped of its physical boundaries, and scaled to enclose billions of people. Today, the central Watchtower looks like this. Monolithic rows of server racks and algorithmic data centers silently aggregate the behavioral outputs of the global population. In this modern iteration, our digital footprints, our daily keystrokes, our video views, and the content we post act as the illuminated windows of our cells. We are constantly broadcasting our exact positions to a central observer we cannot see. Harvard professor Shoshana Zuboff categorizes the economic motive driving this architecture as surveillance capitalism. The system requires immense volumes of data, but the ultimate goal has shifted away from passive monitoring. Data scientists within these tech firms now build economies of action using subliminal cues and rewards to tune, herd, and actuate human behavior toward profitable outcomes. These platforms present themselves as digital town squares. In practice, they are behavior modification factories. Existing inside this machinery exacts a heavy psychological toll. Users frequently report a persistent state of algorithmic anxiety, a lingering dread that an unseen system is evaluating their worth and adjusting their reach in real time. That anxiety is enforced through opaque punitive measures. When platforms utilize practices like shadow banning, silently suppressing a user's visibility without notifying them, it forces creators, particularly marginalized users, to heavily censor their own thoughts to avoid triggering the algorithm's invisible tripwires. The architecture also deputizes the inmates. It turns peer surveillance into a core feature, encouraging users to monitor and discipline one another on behalf of the system. Take, for example, a moderation tactic known as the pin of shame. This feature allows a creator to take a norm-violating comment from a user and pin it permanently to the very top of a feed. By locking the comment in the highest point of visibility, the creator invites the broader audience to single out the offender. The resulting public shaming serves as a highly visible warning to everyone else about the community's boundaries. The platform rarely needs to censor a user directly. By weaponizing our own visibility against us, the system coerces us into a state of terrified, self-regulated conformity. If the environment is this oppressive and the anxiety this acute, the logical response would be to simply log off, yet the vast majority of users remain inside. The lock on the cell door is biological. Platform engineers specifically target the mesolimbic dopamine pathway, utilizing the brain's nucleus accumbens to forge a powerful reinforcement cycle. This diagram maps variable ratio reinforcement schedules. Like a slot machine, users take action, entering uncertain anticipation before an unpredictable reward. Neuroimaging shows dopamine actually peaks during this anticipation. Algorithms learn your vulnerabilities, delaying feedback to prolong suspense, dispensing a customized digital drug. We believe we are making a conscious choice to open the application. In reality, the invisible watchman is leveraging millions of years of evolutionary neurobiology to override our executive function, ensuring we never look away. The perimeter of this architecture is expanding rapidly. With the deployment of always-on hardware, including facial recognition code tested on commercial smart glasses, the Watchtower is migrating from our pockets directly onto our faces. The standard advice for combating this, taking a digital detox or setting app timers, fails entirely. You cannot defeat a structural architectural weapon by slightly adjusting your personal habits inside the cell. The only viable escape route is dismantling the central Watchtower. This requires a transition to decentralized protocols, utilizing open web standards like RSS feeds that allow users to curate their own information. This chart compares a centralized platform on the left to a peer-to-peer network on the right. In the decentralized model, nodes connect directly to one another. There is no central point of observation, and therefore no algorithm to manipulate the flow of data. Escaping the invisible wall means abandoning the Panopticon completely. It requires returning structural data autonomy to the individual. The tools to completely shatter the tower already exist today. We just have to choose to use them. Dive deeper into the hidden secrets that shape our reality. Click the subscribe button, activate the bell, and see you in the next scientific investigation, only on TEMBODocs.